Welcome back everybody to Veve Gems, where you get periodic videos on top quality NFTs on the Veve app, which I call Veve Gems. Today I will show you the top 10 undervalued comics on Veve along with the portfolio tracker and Veve stats for week number 12. And this is not financial advice. For those of you interested in the key assumptions and the ranking methodology used in arriving to these top 10 undervalued comics on Veve, you can always check my video on July 30th, 2022, where you can find the full details and the key assumptions. This table shows the cost in gems per MCP point. In general, any number that is 10 or below is considered a good value. So if we look at the rare variants, we can see good value in Groot first appearance, Nick Fury first appearance, Fantastic Four number 12, and Avengers number 4. And if we look at the ultra rare variants, we can see good values for Groot as well and Nick Fury. This table shows the supply percentage still available on the market for the top 10 undervalued comics. In general, the lower the ratio, the higher the demand for such comics, which means the prices of these comics are expected to be supported for the medium to long term. If we look at Amazing Fantasy number 15 and Tales to Astonish number 13, we can see relatively high ratios, the reason for which is that these comics have been recently dropped and not fully absorbed by the market, which also could present an opportunity to grab some of these comics at a cheap price before they get into full absorption. This table shows the percentage upside potential for each of the 10 comics based on the methodology that we discussed in week number 1. In general, any percentage that is 300 and above is considered excellent value with excellent upside potential. For those interested in the secret rare comics, the ones that show good upside potential include Nick Fury first appearance, Fantastic Four number 12, Amazing Spider-Man number 1, and Avengers number 4. This table compares the current prices for the top 10 undervalued comics on Veve. As a general rule, the darker the green shade, the better the value. So we can see good value in the common and uncommon variants of Groot first appearance, Nick Fury first appearance, Fantastic Four number 12, and Avengers number 4. This table shows the total editions minted for these top 10 comics on the list. If we look at the last column, we see the total editions, and looking at the first column, we see the number of editions under the common variant. Then the next column, the number of editions for the uncommon variant, then the rare, ultra rare, and secret rare. The factors on the right side of the table show you how rare is that variant compared to the common variant. So looking at number 1, Marvel Comics number 1, the uncommon is 8 times more rare than the common. In other words, there is 8 commons for each one uncommon, and there are 16 commons for each rare. There is 20 commons for each ultra rare and 80 commons for each secret rare. So this table will give you some perspective of how rare each variant is compared to the common mid-size. This table shows this week's addition to the investor's portfolio. So we have the top 10 comics ranked and the variants of those comics as well as the prices of these comics today. And at the bottom we have the total amount invested for this week's investor's portfolio. This table shows the addition to the collector's portfolio for the week. However, unlike the investor's portfolio in which we do the dollar cost averaging strategy, in the collector's portfolio we only add the new comics that make it to the top 10 list. And since there's no new comics that made it to the top 10 list for this week, there is no addition to the collector's portfolio. This table shows the price performance of the addition to the investor's portfolio that was selected last week. So we have the list of the 10 comics that were selected last week, the variance, the prices last week, and the prices today, and the change for the week. So in total, we have gained 46.07 gems for the week, which is a 6.4% increase. This is a good sign because we have recently seen a long streak of losing weeks, which means that the market could be stabilizing. However, we have still to see the ratio of the tokens minted to the unique owners added to have some reasonable assurance that there will be more absorption by the market and the collectibles will keep their value. Since there was no addition to the collector's portfolio last week, there is no change in this table. This table shows the cumulative performance for the investor and the collector portfolios. For the last 11 weeks, we have invested 8,611.82 gems, and currently the value is 7,443.51 gems. That gives us a total loss of 1,168.31 gems, or a total loss of 13.6%. Moving on to the collector's portfolio, we can see that so far we have invested 1,691.3 gems, currently valued at 1,175.93 gems, giving us a total loss of 515.37 gems, or a negative 30.5%. We can clearly see that the investor's portfolio is outperforming the collector's portfolio, and we need to know that the investor's portfolio keeps investing using the dollar cost averaging strategy every single week. However, the collector's portfolio is just one-time purchases of the new comics that make it to the top 10 list. This table shows the weekly Veve social media stats. So for the last week, we have lost 318 followers on Twitter. We have lost 1,000 Discord members. We have gained 4 Facebook members and lost 412 Instagram followers. So if we look at the total row above, for the last 12 weeks, we have lost in total 1,502 Twitter followers, which is a negative 0.63%. And over that same period of 12 weeks, we have lost 3,000 Discord followers, or a negative 2.68%. We have gained 334 members on Facebook for this 12-week period, which is an increase of 1.12%. And we have lost 4,485 followers on Instagram for those 12 weeks, which is a negative 3.63%. This table shows the weekly Veve ImmutaScan stats on the blockchain. For the week, Veve has minted 57,092 new unique tokens, which is a 0.78% increase over last week. It's the highest weekly increase in tokens minted since we started covering on week number 1, which coincided with July 30th, 2022. Moving on to the unique owners. This week we have added 122 unique owners, which is one of the slowest increases in unique owners of 0.02%. And finally, looking at the TMO ratio, which is the tokens minted to unique owners ratio, currently stands at 11.3 tokens per unique owner. So if we track this ratio starting week 1, it went up from 10.8 to 11.3. That means every week we have on average more tokens per unique owner, which would indicate that prices in the short to medium term would probably remain sideways or even go to the downside, because it's very obvious that the new unique owners are not keeping up with the new tokens minted. Here is a snapshot of my collection on the Veve app. You are welcome to follow me on the app by searching the Avengers logo edition number 100. It is under the Disney Golden Moments brand. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. As you see in my previous videos, I always respond to each and every question. If you got value out of this video, hit the like and subscribe button so that you can keep informed every week when I post updates. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.